Hello, world.
Hello. We're live.
We are live. I'm with Apryl Schlueter, the author of Finding Success in Balance. My journey to the
Cheerful Mind.
Cheerful Mind. You are Chief Energy Officer?
Yes.
Yes.
My play on the CEO. Because, you know, we all deserve to be. But I do enjoy working, and when I had my kids, I got into this, thought of how am I going to be able to operate at the same level of intensity that I was at work now that I have two kids who I don't want to neglect. I want to raise them well. I want to give them love. And how do I do that? And family has always been really, really important to me. So I went through a bunch of different jobs and trying to figure out what was the right fit. Work-life balance was always a huge priority for me. And so the book kind of talks about the journey and a lot of the things that I learned, especially in the last 2 or 3 years, about how to be a better mother without sacrificing my career, my relationships with my friends, and me personally as a person. I didn't want to just be a mom. I do have other hats that I wear, and how can I not give those away, just in order to sacrifice for my kids.
Right.
So, yeah.
Yeah, so it's Mother's Day.
Yes. Happy Mother's Day, all you moms out there.
Happy Mother's Day. There's this Mother's Day week thing where we get really selfish and we feel very entitled to go to the spa or do something really lovely for ourselves. Talk about how we can carry on this feeling of entitlement, if you will, into an everyday or a routine of taking care of ourselves and doing the things we really want to do.
Absolutely. So a lot of what I mention in the book, and it's directly impacted by some of the things that I felt. I think a lot of moms feel guilt about having to be able to do it all. Taking the kids to school, packing their stuff, making sure they do their homework, and then you have to go to work, and it's always this never-ending cycle of you get the kids up, go to school, go to work, come back home, pick them up, feed them dinner, go to bed, do it all again the next day.
Yeah. And
sometimes it's hard to find time to prioritize ourselves. And one of the things that I realized is, I was afraid of just being selfish. I think it's a totally natural feeling, but being in that space where we're always on the go is the perfect way to burn out. And I know this firsthand because I burned out in a big, bad way. And I just figured, life doesn't have to be like this, does it? And, even my husband was saying, you're working too hard, take some time off. And I felt guilty. No, I have to do everything. So this concept of self-care and loving ourselves was something very new to me that I kind of learned about in my journey, and saying, I was giving all my love to everyone else, giving all of my time and energy, but at the end of the day, who was doing that for me? And I think most moms might relate to this. Sometimes people don't really know what we want. We know it in our heads, but we just always expect that people will know, and they'll give us the flowers that we want, send us to get a massage or a mani-pedi, give us time to sleep in.
Yes. Did you see that video? There's a new video by What's Up Moms, and it's hilarious. I'll post it later. Yes. Anyway.
So there was the concept of, what if we just took a little bit, just even like 5% to start? Yes. Because then it starts getting more and more as you get more comfortable. But how do you just even allow maybe 5% of your day to focus on yourself? And it could be as much as, husband, can you wake up the kids and so I can sleep for another 15 minutes or something like that, to just allow yourself to have time for you. So some days it might be crazy and you might just want that extra 15 minutes of sleep, or to just say, hey, can somebody else cook dinner, or hey, let's just go out to eat so that I don't have to do all the cooking, and just kind of thinking about things that are going to take the load off of our lives, because I think we want to do it all, and we are very capable of doing so many things, but at the expense of our energy is a really tough thing. And when we don't have as much energy, we don't have as much love to give. So in my process of kind of trying to be a little bit more selfish, even a little bit every day, I just found so much more energy. I mean, if you see me now, and I'm super happy. I'm away from my kids, and I miss them dearly. But as soon as I get home, I'm going to be so excited to see them. But it's sometimes that time away that makes you realize, you know, how great everything is, and you don't start thinking about the first complaint of, oh my gosh, I have so much to do. Oh my gosh, it never ends, because it never will end.
Never.
But if we change the way that we think about, you know, how we serve others by giving love to ourselves, it's a humongous impact. So I talk a lot about self-love. It was never a concept that made sense to me, but now that I do it and I practice regularly, I can be, you know, more, you know, maybe not 100%, but, you know, closer to 75, 80, 90% with my children, instead of the 50%, you know, half there and not being totally present.
Right. Okay. So let's do a little before and after.
Okay.
You said you practice now. This self-love.
Yes.
Okay. Day in a life. 30 minutes before of how you do you practice in the morning? When do you practice this time?
It really varies from day to day. It just it depends. But for me, you know, you want before first.
Yes.
Right? So I would get up at, you know, my kids had to be I had to be at work at 8:30. So my kids, I would wake up, get in the shower, feeling really, really drained. That wouldn't really be waking me up, just enough for me to put some clothes on. I'd get the kids out of bed, dress them, you know, be yelling at them like, come on, we gotta go. Getting them in the car, dropping them off, you know, getting back in the car, driving to work, completely feeling like a zombie, getting to work, you know, sitting at my desk, you know, not eating lunch, you know, or just thinking about, okay, I'm just gonna work. Oh, it's 12:30. I should get lunch, and I'll sit at my desk and I'll work. And then all of a sudden it's 5 o'clock, and I'm like, all right, let me just a couple more things, and it's 5:45, and I have to jet to the daycare, pick them up. I'm hungry because I didn't eat my lunch, and my kids are like, I'm hungry. I'm like, I know. And you know, going to like a fast food restaurant, coming home at like 7:30. They're going off the walls, and I just want them to go to bed. I get them to bed at like 8:39, and then I work for another 20 to 30 to 2 hours. I'm up till 1 o'clock in the morning, and then I finally get to sleep and wake up and do it all over again. So that was my before life.
Listen. She is speaking truth right now. There's so many of us draining ourselves under the banner of being successful. So let's hear the shift.
Okay.
All right.
So now, and you know, I think it still is occasionally crazy sometimes.
Of course, we can't have it all the time, but we would like to have something.
Yeah.
Most of the time.
Yeah. And mind you, I almost never worked out before because I just didn't have time to. So now my ideal day is, and you know, maybe 2 or 3 times a week I can do this.
Okay.
I get up in the morning at 5:30 and I go to the gym. I do bar classes, and so I'll take the class for the hour.
Okay.
Have the energy that I need to get in the shower. I'm, you know, brewing up ideas. What do I need to do today? You know, get my kids up. You know, that's still the little crazy hectic, like, come on, let's go! Get them to school, and, you know, now that I work from home, I come back home, I actually start my day with practicing gratitude, so, you know, things that I'm grateful for in the morning. And I look at my day, and usually I'll have my day already scheduled from the day prior.
Right.
I will basically focus on the things that I had planned for the day, and when, you know, 6 o'clock rolls around and I need to pick up my kids, or 3 o'clock, depending on, you know, what day it is and if they have after school stuff. I will pick them up. I get to sometimes make dinner, and if not, then we just enjoy a dinner out together when my husband gets home. We can read books with the kids. We can play board games. I spend a little bit of time before I pick my kids up planning the next day, so I already have that set, but I shut down from work. And I try to go to bed at the same time as my kids.
What?
So
did you hear that?
Yes, and I also do gratitudes at night. Those are, I think, you know, as close to either some meditation practice or whatnot, to just really be grateful about the things that I do during the day. And it might just be, you know, hey, my kids didn't, you know, drive me crazy today, yay, you know. But being in gratitude about, you know, oh, I was able to shut off at 5 p.m. or, you know, it's even the little things.
Do you do a gratitude journal? Do you do a happy jar? What is your...
So right now I've been trying a lot of different journals, but there was this 5-minute journal, which is mostly
I've heard
gratitude journal. Okay. The one that I use right now is the self journal. What I like about that... Okay. Have you heard of it?
Yes, I've seen it.
It is a mixture of a planner and the gratitude. So, of course, I want my day to be organized, so it gives you the opportunity to write down, your schedule for the day and your targets, so you know what you're working toward.
Yes.
But it also limits you. So if you've already kind of filled up your day, you're not going to overpack yourself.
Yeah.
And so it helps. And for me, I'm very much focused on the happiness, which is the gratitude, and then the productivity, which is the planning and the organization of my day, and really setting good boundaries. So it's good. And then I also do, weekly. I'll do things like acupuncture to help with stress management, and that's something new that I've been doing the last year. I'll go for massages whenever I can, maybe like once a month if I can. And my husband, even though he works a pretty crazy job right now, he also, I'm able to partner with him to just, split the load on the kids, which has been really, really helpful. So we have open communication, and so those are some of the things that make my day more successful than it used to be.
Okay, let's do a mock conversation.
Okay.
All right. Now, has the husband always been communicative, or did you teach yourself to do a little better? How did that...
I think that it's been a work in progress. I mean, we've always been pretty open and communicative, but when the kids came into play, it was just everything kind of shut down, and we had to learn to communicate again as parents.
That's a good way to put it. Learn to communicate again.
Yeah.
Because the issues are different, and the leanings are different.
Yeah, exactly. All the expectations that we have for each other, and sometimes it doesn't work out, but we can at least laugh about it now instead of being at each other's throats.
Yes, got it. So tell us more in the book, specific things you help moms change.
Yes. So one of the main things is kind of reframing the idea of guilt and failure.
Okay.
Because sometimes even the littlest thing of, oh no, I forgot to pack a lunch, which I've done many times. Thinking about it as, okay, how can I make sure that I don't do that again, or what was going on in my life? So really focusing on self-awareness and the things that are causing us to feel this guilt and feel the fear of failing as parents, failing in our careers.
Right.
So shifting that sort of attitude. From the productivity perspective, really learning how to set boundaries. I think that as parents, that's always the hardest thing, because we deal with unexpected things. When we were, adults without children, we didn't have to take care of other people. And so we have to learn how to plan and set certain boundaries, but also be flexible. So I have, 10 different tips of how to practice more of a healthy work-life balance. And what's ironic is some of the tips cancel each other out. So it's like, know how to plan, but know how to be flexible. Because if you are so rigid in a plan, which is something that I've definitely done, and then it doesn't go the way everything's planned, you're getting frustrated and angry, but just being able to acknowledge that, there needs to be some flexibility at the same time, being able to focus on the things that are important.
Okay.
And then also just really learning how to identify your own personal values, and from the mom perspective, how those values translate into your family, because your husband might have different values, and having that conversation about how to have a thriving family, and what are the underlying core values that you want to focus on. And so for me, connection is really, really important. Accomplishment is also really important. So what are the things that we can do as a family? Do we have goals to travel to every single state, and spend that time together? When we're at the dinner table, do we want to put cell phones and iPads away? For me, also another big value for me is fun. How can I have fun with my family, and how can I, meld more of my work, my career, that's the same thing, my career, my family, my relationships, and how do I, fulfill all of those things so that I can feel like I'm doing more. Yeah. I recently had a book launch party in Chicago, and I had it on my birthday, so that was like great, one party instead of two. My family was there, all my friends were there. You know, I was able to celebrate an accomplishment in my career, and it hit all of my personal priorities. So really thinking about how do you make more time to do the things you love, or how do you get it all done without sacrificing the things that are most important to you. So, yeah.
Okay, last question. We have to talk about girls' time.
Okay.
Friendships. How do you navigate friendships that either with moms that don't have children or moms that have different age children than you? How do you stay connected?
I most of it is just trying to get it on the calendar, I feel, because if you keep on saying, oh yeah, let's get together, usually time just passes and then you forget. So, sometimes with some of my girlfriends who do have kids, we will either plan family play dates so that the kids can kind of run around and the parents can converse with each other. And sometimes it might just be like, hey, husbands get to watch the kids, or we get a babysitter, and the guys can do something and the girls can do something. For those of my friends who don't have kids, I think what's really great about some of the friends that I have is that they acknowledge the parenting lifestyle and they don't judge, and so they're willing to accommodate to my schedule when things are busy, but at the same time, I want to honor them, and so if there's something that's really important that they're doing, if they are celebrating a birthday or something like that, I will put it on my calendar way in advance and know that that's non-negotiable. I want to be there for my friends. So it's really just making it a priority and choosing to spend time with those people, but also surrounding myself with people who are positive, who don't judge the parenting thing. And just trying to be as connected as possible, even if it means, taking a phone call in the car.
Right.
Well, one of my best friends always will call me, and she's like, I'm just driving home, so let's talk for 15 minutes. And
so true.
That's better than waiting 3 months to see each other. So, yeah.
Okay, last, explain to us what the Cheerful Mind is. And I know I said last before, so I guess I was lying.
Okay. The questions are so amazing. So, the Cheerful Mind for me was... when I was going through this dark time, which I talk about in my book, when I hit my burnout point, I really had to pare back and say, really, what is important? Is it that I get this promotion, or is it that I have this thriving job? Really, what is at the core of my being, and who do I want to be? And I saw myself as this person who was always complaining. Everything was just never good enough. I was really down on myself, and I just wanted to be happy. And so it was that exploration of, so how am I going to make that happen? Because I can't just let things happen to me. Being happy is definitely a choice, and is definitely something that you have to work at. But it pays off so much more. I feel like I have so much energy, and just really identifying, what's truly, truly important. Is it, trying to get the laundry done in the next few hours, or is it spending maybe an extra amount of time with my kids, or maybe it is, maybe I do need to get the laundry done, but being able to know that I have the choice to take whatever action that I can take. And I encourage all moms to take that guilt off your shoulders, because it's just it's hard. We have a really, really hard job, but it can be fun. We just have to kind of shift the way that we think about it.
Okay.
So, yay.
That's it. Do you have any advice? Anything else you want to say about the book, or LA, or yourself?
Well, I would say read the book. I know that a lot of people think that they don't have time, but I purposefully made it nice and short. So, people have read it in a couple hours, or, within a day, if you, or you can even go a chapter a day. And that's super great. If you also want to, can I plug my website?
Go ahead.
My website is www.thecheerfulmind.com. If you feel like you don't have time, which I work with people who constantly feel this and want more balance, I actually have a checklist with 10 steps or 10 things that you can do, and some of them I mentioned here, but they're 10 small practices that you can infuse into your day to create more space and time. So there's that little free gift that I can give for you there. And if there's ever anything that I can do to help, you know where to find me. And thank you so much for having me. This has been so great. LA, love you. Can I come back all the time? Because
yes, but bring the kids.
Yes,
bring the family.
I will bring the kids
and your friends
time.
too.
Yes, all the warmth. We'll
all
take
the
in all
warmth.
the warmth.
Yeah. Thank you so much. Again, we've been with Apryl Schlueter, author of The Cheerful Mind. I am Carolyn Richardson with LA Parent Magazine, and we have had fun live. See you guys soon. Bye.
Thank you.